I call to order the Board of Trustees meeting for the Morton Grove Public Library on July 13th at 7 o'clock. Stand and say the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you do roll call?
Callahan?
Here.
Gonzalez? Here. Gray?
Here.
Masoncheck? Here. Monzon?
Here.
Nordic?
Here.
Pelletier? Here.
Okay. The approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting from June 8th, 2017. Can I get a motion to approve? Minutes of the board meeting of June 8th. Okay, any comments or questions about it? Oh, I actually have a comment. Regarding 4th of July and the parade, you had mentioned, people could march if they wanted, and I never followed up. If you had emailed, I would have said, sure. I don't know, I felt like, I didn't want to steal employee thunder. It's like employees want to march, but then I was talking to a woman who's a director in Deerfield, and she was like, oh, it's just our trustees who march.
Oh.
And I was like, maybe staff members don't want to have to march. So I'm just saying, next year,
Absolutely.
I'm happy to
Okay.
march. I just didn't want it to seem like I thought I should be marching.
You're always welcome
I
there.
don't know.
How many do we have? David and Jeff were there, and then, I got, we had about nine staff people.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
But trustees are,
I'm not a big
Absolutely.
parade person, but this will give me no excuse not to take my
If you
children
get
to
a
the
red
parade.
convertible, I'll go.
we walked it this time.
I've got a silver minivan.
That's not the same as a red
No, it's
convertible.
not. I agree. So anyways, I just wanted to say that going forward. I didn't know what the etiquette was, so
Okay.
I just kind of didn't say anything, but I'm happy not to, I'm happy to, whatever works.
Okay.
So that was my comment.
So these are for the minutes, Gonzalez,
Yes, here.
Gray,
Yes.
Masoncheck, yes, Monzon,
Yes.
Nordic,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes, Callahan.
Yes.
That for these, it's okay.
All right, so public comments, agenda items only. I don't see any public. So we can move to the president's report.
That's you.
Oh, yes, sorry.
That's
If you have anything.
I'll say now that we came for one of the movies yesterday in that planetarium, and it's really, really cool. And I was amazed that there was not a kid involved.
Nope.
I
do have to
forgot
say
all the
that,
high school math I've
yeah.
learned, so.
Jess Alexander, one of the youth service librarians, really deserves all the praise she can get for that, because it really was her idea. She's really spearheaded that, and it's been super, super popular.
Pretty amazing.
So, yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, she's really earning quite the name for herself in terms of doing kind of science and math programming throughout the area. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well earned. So that's all I have to say. Committee reports, finance.
Okay. Cash statement, does anybody have any questions?
I do. What is the MU financial payroll account in general?
That's the account that we take payroll out of.
It only has 2,000.
Yeah, we actually transfer money, it's like a pass-through account, so
Got
we
it,
transfer
okay.
money from the operating account into the payroll account and then, to our
Okay, so that's just the
vendor.
balance.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Any more questions? Anything on PMA, which? Solid.
I had a question, on the income statement, on line, let's see, 10,3900 miscellaneous income, I'm just wondering where the extra, I'm just curious where, if we're at 169% of miscellaneous income, where some of the extra is coming from, you know, if I'm reading that right.
Okay, so basically what this is showing, hold on, about this. So this, it's opposite when you're looking at revenues.
Right.
So miscellaneous income would be, what do we normally put, actually miscellaneous income, what we've been putting in there, that's why this is changing.
Looks like there's more than
Is-
you thought there would be, right? I'm reading
Yes,
that
because
properly.
of the vending machine.
Oh, okay.
Because at this year, we took the vending machine expenses out of miscellaneous, so we're putting them into the miscellaneous income line.
Okay.
So we may change that next year, the budget, so that it's more descriptive, but for this
Okay.
year, we wanted to make sure that monies were coming out and going into the same quote-unquote budget lines.
Okay.
So eventually it'll have.
If we decide to do it that way, or we'll assume that we'll get more. So we won't show
What kind
it.
of percent are we getting?
Pardon?
What generally are we getting? I wasn't here when it was decided on. I didn't know what the deal was.
So we're normally getting, how much a week?
120.
120, 150 a week.
Wow.
So, that's just what we're getting in. Now, we also, we stock it
I haven't
ourselves.
been there yet.
So, we stock it ourselves, but we're keeping a spreadsheet, see how much is going out and going in. And Donka, one of the maintenance staff people, is kind of overseeing that. She's taking to that, like a duck to water. She works very hard to make sure it stays stocked, and that, the merchandise in there is popular and continues to be sold and that kind of thing. So we're trying to make sure that everything that's in there are things that people actually want and will purchase. So, yeah.
I was also wondering, in terms of grants, now that there's a budget, theoretically, if the state library has said anything about any possibilities?
We have heard nothing from the state
Okay.
library at this point about giving.
Okay.
As I said, I think a couple months ago, we did receive notification that we got the grant, but we haven't
Yeah.
received the funds. So if that money, becomes available, that's when we get the approximately $7,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, kind of going forward, like fiscal year 2020.
Check register, there is. Where is it?
Overdrive.
There's a voided check, 1306, overdrive, and then you will see that. And then it's on the first page that we got.
Who is June's Got the Cash?
That's the performers for tomorrow evening's.
Oh, yeah, now that you
Johnny
say that,
Cash
I've seen
program.
the signs, I didn't,
Yeah.
okay.
So this is the overdrive check, this is how it was returned to us by the post office. So that's why that was, yeah.
And then the other one is not 1335.
The other one is,
That's for reissue, right?
no, the.
No, 1335 is a voided check.
The true.
Voided.
Of Morton Grove, and there wasn't another check
There was not another check that,
to reissue.
right, that check
It's
was
not
not
marked
reissued.
for you.
Check
It doesn't
number,
have
yeah, check number 1335 is not marked as void on here because we
Okay.
actually received it after we ran this.
Okay.
It was a refund from the village saying we didn't have to pay for trash, which is the very first time that's ever happened, so
Okay.
we just took it and cashed it.
Are we gonna ask if they're always gonna not make us pay?
No,
No,
we're just,
no.
because this is the first time
Then
that
they might
Mitch
change
and
their
I have
mind.
been thinking about it, that they've told us. So I don't know if that's something that they've
Okay,
recently decided or not.
okay.
I can certainly find out if you want me to, but we were both surprised.
What is libraries first?
Libraries First is our membership in My Media Mall, which is our e-audiobook and e-book.
Oh, okay.
That's
I don't remember seeing that before.
yeah, you'll only see that once a year.
That's why I didn't see it.
Yep.
That sure doesn't exist anymore.
Utica National Insurance, what's that for?
I'm sorry?
Utica,
That's our insurance. It's our building insurance.
the building insurance.
Mhm. It's one of the payments for our building insurance. And we pay that quarterly, that amount is quarterly.
This might be a real dumb question, Dave, I've been here for 3 years already. What are we paying the village for?
We pay the village for,
They should be paying us.
Well-
That's the IMRF, isn't it?
yeah, so you're asking for like the
That's the
13,000?
retirement fund.
Yeah, those
Right.
big amounts, so on the last page, if
Okay.
you look at check number 1368 for $6,146, that is the employee portion of IMRF.
Okay.
And then check number 1377 for
So it's not like
13,000, that's
it's
the
not
employee,
like village, it's the.
it's our employment,
Yeah.
it's IMRF. Yep.
And they write one thing.
Because the village is, because we are a village library and not a district library, the village, one of the village employees is actually our official authorized IMRF agent.
I got it.
Any more questions?
I don't believe that there were facilities or policy meetings. So we can move to the staff reports from,
Let's see,
Our
my report, I only have a couple things to note, in addition to my written report, and if anyone has any questions, I can certainly answer them. As-
Excuse me, we need a motion.
oh, right,
Oh,
that's
right.
right, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Yes, can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Motion to approve.
And a second. Oh, sorry, and I'm doing that for you. I'm confused about what my role here is.
And second was.
Eric. Eric. And David, tied.
And then usually, Emily, that's a roll call vote.
Yes. Make a motion. Okay, Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Jack, yes. Monson?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Pelletier? Calmack?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Now the director. No.
As I mentioned in my report, and you probably saw in the departmental reports, we did have a few staff that attended ALA. Let me know if you want more information than what was listed there, and I can include that in the next packet or email that to you if you want. I also did start working already on the 2018 budget. So, I guess the reason I mention that is, does the board want to set a special board meeting to discuss in September? Or do you want to begin preliminary discussions at our regular September meeting and then set a subsequent meeting if necessary?
What did we do last
I
time?
think we did it that way. We met first in September, I think then we set
Okay.
a subsequent meeting. So I just,
all I remember is it seemed to go pretty well last time.
Yeah, it went well, and
okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
we're-
plan on I'll have a preliminary budget presentation at our regular September meeting. And then if we need to have another meeting, we can do that.
Okay.
Because usually it's due to the village, end of October, beginning of November, depending on when they need to present it.
Okay. The way you presented it last year was
Okay.
really helpful.
Okay. That's all I had.
Are we gonna see options for the sign that you guys are looking for?
Yeah, I thought I would bring those in September.
Okay.
So, because we just very recently got a mock-up from someone
Okay.
after the
Yeah.
the agenda
I was
was
just
out.
hoping to get to see it. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, is the new outdoor book drop, does it have fancy features or it's just newer?
It's just a regular book drop, it does have
Okay.
some decorating,
Okay.
but it will just be one, it's newer, it will replace the two that we've got, which are
Okay.
maybe
one of the
at this
problems I
point.
heard, and I find it with my car too, is
It's not high enough.
it's not high enough
Yeah.
for the big cars, and it's too
Yeah.
high for the little cars.
Yeah,
and-
and the new one is a little bit higher, which has been more of a complaint from people that it's not high enough, so the new one should alleviate some of that.
That's
So,
what it's.
Yeah.
Are you working with any of the other staff on the emergency disaster procedures, or are you just right now looking at it on your own?
They had been pretty extensively revised by Kevin before he left.
Okay.
I haven't looked at them much since then. One of the things that the department heads and I have been talking about is, because right now they're pretty extensive and there's a lot of words,
Mhm.
but if you're in the middle of a disaster or an emergency, you're not gonna, you know, it's really difficult to look through your binder that's this thick
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. So what has become kind of the way that a lot of public institutions are treating this, they've got just basically flip charts that are laminated, like fire, and there's like 5 bullet points, that's what you do, or, you know, a tornado, 5 bullet points, you do this. So Jeff actually had an example from a meeting he had gone to a few months back, and so we're gonna be kind of using some of that as we look at ours going forward, because I'd like to really eliminate the verbiage if I can.
Okay.
So that people can, you know, get a quick idea of what they need to
Yeah.
do. So yeah, I'm working with department managers first and other staff as necessary.
Okay.
Is it something that should go through the fire department, police department, before we see for possible issues that they might have in?
We have had the fire department out quite a bit over the years as, there's not a lot, I mean, the building itself hasn't changed. So, you know,
There shouldn't be a lot of change.
right, in terms of how you get out of the building, hasn't significantly changed. So, we don't anticipate that
And
there will be many changes in terms
And
of
the
that.
laws
And like
haven't
where we're
changed.
supposed to gather and those kinds of things, those will not change.
change.
So, you know, and like I said, we can certainly have the fire department look them over. We have had the fire department come in occasionally and just walk through new staff, new firefighters, so that because the building is so
Unique.
a warren of different areas and stuff, they, you know, the fire department recognizes that, and so they'll try to bring over new staff when they can to have them walk through the building, like with Dave or someone, to make sure that they understand everywhere that they would need to check in the event of an emergency, so,
It should do.
yeah.
Anybody else?
Salaries, or is that gonna be a subject on its own?
Salaries for staff,
Yeah.
I mean, it would be as part of the budget discussion,
Uh,
Do you
unless,
maybe mean to do with the opting out of the
yeah,
Cook
with the
County? I think
village's
she means the
decision.
we can talk about that. As you included in your packets was the letter from the village saying that the village of Morton Grove had chosen to opt out of the Cook County minimum wage and sick leave ordinances. We are not alone in that. There are at least 50 other communities in in Cook County that have chosen to do that. Right now, so I mean, that's good for us right now. Let me take a step back. These laws never applied to us as a public institution. So my concern as I was watching this was the competition for employees, particularly at some of like the circuit clerks, for example, who are traditionally, you know, the ones that would live here in the community. They're not professional librarians, if you will. So they're the ones that usually would fall under the auspices of this. So, you know, as we looked at how attractive would it be to work at a library for, say, $10 an hour, when in 2 years you could go work for McDonald's for $13 an hour. It was those kinds of things that I was watching to make sure that, you know, to see how that would impact us over time. Right now, with the village deciding to do this, it kind of pushes that off a little bit, though there has been now a lot of talk at the state level that the minimum wage will go up to $10, not this soon, but within the next couple of years. So that would then impact us once the state decides.
So what would be our lowest salary?
Right now, our lowest hourly wage is
$8.50.
So it's in,
$8.50.
so it's in that range?
Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I'm always watching what other libraries, when they post their positions and that kind of to see what they're paying. I mean, because that's really what we're competing against.
Right.
For those positions, is, you know, what are their cert clerks making? What are their shelvers making? That kind of thing. You know, how are we comparing so that we remain competitive? So.
How are we comparing?
Pretty well. I would say on our professional salaries, we're doing a little bit better than I think some of our hourly, kind of, you know, cert clerk, shelvers, those kinds of things. Jeff and I are talking about, and a lot of it impacts circulation staff, but we've been talking about revamping the circulation department a little that would even out the salaries, like making all employees kind of cross-train them so that any of the shelvers could also, you know, serve in the clerk capacity if necessary, that kind of thing. So we're looking 1, 2 years down the road to say, does it continue to make sense for us to staff the department in this way? Does it make more sense given our size and some other things? Do we cross-train everyone and then bring everyone's salary up to say 10 something or whatever? So we're talking about those kinds of things. But we're a little bit on the lower end in those types of jobs, I will be completely honest, so. And
That's not been a problem.
not really. I mean, we've got good staff that, we have a number of staff that have been here a while. It hasn't, I don't think we're losing staff because of the pay.
Are those full-time positions?
No, those are all part-time positions.
Okay.
Yeah, most often there are part-time positions. But, like I said, my bigger concern with this was if we had surrounding communities that were, going up to $10 an hour July 1st, and next year it's gonna be $11 an hour, this following year 12, and then the following year 13, that would then start to impact the quality of applicants that we got. I mean, sure, people might say, oh yeah, I'd much rather, shelve books than work at McDonald's, but, if it's just a job to you, at some point, if I can make $2 or $3 more an hour, I'm not gonna care that I'm flipping burgers or I'm shelving books, that kind of thing, so that's where the potential impact can come. Now, if there's, like I said, a statewide, if the state says we're raising the minimum wage, that does apply to us, and they are talking about a $10 an hour to a $10 an hour minimum wage. No word on when that will happen, but.
Well, I don't see anything happening around her there, so.
So, but it's, it's on my radar, so, and, I'm tracking it, the Management Association that we're members of Illinois, they're tracking it very closely because they have a lot of library clients, a lot of library members, and, it will have an impact on our budget when that happens.
Yeah.
So, but, salaries are always a big part of our budget. It's important. I mean, staff is really what makes the library great. And so, I feel as a director, it's really important to make sure that our people are appropriately compensated for their expertise, the skills that they bring to the job, and, continues to make us, we're never gonna be big, but if we can say, we have great customer service, people come to us, instead of scoping for whatever reasons, I wanna make sure that we continue to support that. So, but as of right now, this is where we're at. I think for Villages of Morton Grove, this was, everyone that directly touches us also opted out of this, so,
Yeah,
I think that,
I was shocked actually.
yeah, there's been a lot of, and that's kind of what the proponents say, is that, one of the things is, how do you finance it then if you're a small business, and I get that. But then also, there's this hodgepodge of towns now. Some have to comply by this rule, some don't. So that's why,
This makes it more confusing.
yeah, until the state decides to do something, and that would make more sense because then we want them to do
that
it.
in Illinois, I think it's more confusing.
We're good at that. Yes.
We're very.
So as long as the village opts out from these, so we follow, is that correct?
Right, I mean, you as a board, or we as a board can say, you know what, I think that our lowest paid position should be $10. I mean, we could decide to do that. I mean, basically, when you're saying a minimum wage, it's exactly that, is that by law, this is the least amount that you can pay someone. So, at some point, almost all of the positions in the library require some level of skill. If you think about a minimum wage job and what you think a person, brings to that position, to me, it would be like, okay, I can flip the burger at McDonald's or whatever, or I can cut someone's lawn, or whatever the case may be. If I'm saying, I want someone to work at the circulation desk, and I expect them to know how to use this computer and use this software and interact with my patrons in a way that doesn't send them all screaming out the doors kind of thing, there's a certain level of skill involved there, and I think we should compensate those people appropriately. And so I would not pay those types of positions, a minimum wage, just because the job itself, in my eyes, requires a little bit more skill.
I agree.
Yeah. But we can always do more than what the village or the state says. We can never do less.
Okay.
So.
When you do the budget,
Mhm.
could you throw in a line, an extra line, what it would be, the salaries would be if we.
If we had to,
$10?
if our lowest paid position was $10,
Yeah, just an extra line, it could be on a different sheet of paper and
Yeah.
everything.
The thing one of the things that and I think I alluded, I discussed it a little bit in my director's report, is right now we're looking at all the job descriptions, and it's kind of the first step in making sure that the job descriptions are accurately reflecting what each of our staff are doing, and making sure they're up to date and different things like that. But then that's kind of the first step to then looking at, are those jobs then being appropriately compensated? Is our salary schedule adjusted from the department head positions on down? Is it appropriate? If we raise the minimum, if we raise kind of our lowest paid people up by a certain percentage, how does that impact the rest of the salary schedule? So I'm gonna be looking at all those things over the next several months.
Yeah, I'm just being difficult.
Yep, no, I can certainly do that.
Anything else for the director's report?
I don't have anything else if anyone has any questions.
Corporate counsel, nobody's here, yes. Unfinished business.
The only unfinished business, I'll write this.
That's okay.
Okay, I'll write that more things later. The building, I'm sorry, I had a little moment. We have had several showings. Where'd my notes go? We've had several showings. We had one on the 23rd, we had one on the 28th, the 23rd of June, 28th of June, one on July 5th, and then the one on July 5th, they came back today. And it was a really great showing, and I wanted to be able to read the realtor's note that he just sent me, and what did I just put my note? Basically, the people that he showed it to today, here it is, I got it. He said, the showing went superbly. The buyer was laying out his operation as we walked through, and the verbal estimate my contractor gave them, which would be backed up on paper, of course, including separate line items, is not anywhere near so high as to compel them to walk away. He said it couldn't have gone much better. So he is very optimistic about this potential buyer, and he hopes to have more information for me by next week. So this particular client was they are attorneys and accountants, and they looked primarily at redoing the main level and just not even touching anything with the upstairs at this point. But they really liked the building. They liked it a lot the first time, and then today they went through with an actual contractor who said, here's what you can and can't do, and here's how much it will cost, that kind of thing. So fingers crossed.
Well, that's a good sign.
So that was the only unfinished business we had. Everything else is
We are gonna do the annual walkthrough at the end of new business. So do you want me to move communications and the public comments, or just wait until we get to after committee appointments?
You can move that to now since we don't have anyone from the public.
Okay.
It's entirely up to you.
So we'll start, before the new business, we'll start with communications.
So you've seen the communications, I've included those in your packet. One of them was the thank you note, the other one was the letter from the village. Also as part of the communications, you've got all the pictures of these that we made for charity. I forget what they're called, but
Muffs.
yeah, and they're supposed to be good for like Alzheimer's patients and those types of people that are suffering from those types of disorders. It gives them things to fidget with, basically.
Okay.
And but so people were really, really thankful for
That
those.
sounds better. I'm looking at this one.
Yeah. Yeah, they put their hands in, and there's like different things that they can
Yeah,
feel
I
on
get
the inside and on the outside.
I get
So,
it.
yeah. And those were the only.
Okay. Public comments, non-agenda items, still no public. And I don't believe that we need to go into executive session.
No, we can review these.
So we can go back to the items listed under new business.
In your packets, you should have received another folder that had the minutes that we're doing two things here, for those of you that are new that haven't gone through this process. By law, we're required to review twice a year the minutes of any closed sessions And then also review verbatim recordings of closed sessions that are older than 18 months. And we're doing those two things to either release the written minutes or retain them as closed, keep them closed. And then the recordings, we're choosing to either destroy the recordings or retain the recordings for some reason. We're not allowed by law to destroy recordings unless there are written minutes that correspond to those. So, so what you've got is two sets. Blanche is written at the top, the written minutes. There's just two sets of those, one from December 8th of 2016 and one from May 11th of 2017. These are the minutes from those two executive sessions. My recommendation for these two is to release these to the public. I don't think there's anything that would.
Totally agree. I agree.
Okay, so we'll release those. And if someone will actually need to make a motion.
We're talking about the May 11th, 2017 and the December 8th,
Right,
2016.
And so you'll make a motion to release, to release the minutes from the executive sessions of May 11th, 2017 and December 8th, 2016.
But that can be one full motion.
That can be one full motion.
I will motion for what she just said, to release the minutes from the executive session of May 11th, 2017.
I'll second it.
Here, Joanne, second. So, all right. So, yes, Marzone?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Pelletier? Yes. Calmac?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then the second set are the minutes of the recordings. So these will remain closed. No, these are open already, probably. I don't know if these have been released. We're not voting on the written minutes here. What we're voting on is can we destroy the recordings of these minutes because we now have written corresponding minutes. So basically, you just have to review these and say, yes, these are,
I'll put a motion on the floor so that we can do that.
yes.
Because the motion's supposed to be first.
So the motion would be,
I move that we destroy the minutes from the special board meeting of September 2nd,
the recordings.
Recordings, excuse me, 2015, October 27th, 2015, and November 12th, 2015.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I think she shreds.
Pelletier?
She shred these, right? So we have to.
Yeah, I can.
Calmac?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Mason, yes. Marzone? No.
And we normally take these and destroy them, so I'm gonna pass them either to myself or to Lynn. Pardon?
I think they fell out of my thing.
That's fine, no problem. Since we're releasing them, it's not that big of a
Should I
deal.
just shred it at home, or
You can shred them at home,
Okay.
if you want, yeah, just whatever's easiest.
We have to watch her if she does.
No. It would be a bigger deal if they had not been, if you hadn't released them, but because you have,
Yes,
it's,
I mean, I could go grab them.
yeah, that's fine. All right. Reimbursement for mileage. If you remember, we did, for those of the trustees that were on the board at the time, last fall, I believe, there was a new law that, because of college page, but whatever, that said that any board expenditures had to be approved before they were paid out. So Emily and Joanne had attended a trustee training workshop in at the Green Hills Public Library, which is in Palos Hills. So the board will need to approve her reimbursement in the amount of $37.45.
You guys drove together, which is why I only.
Yes. So someone will need to make a motion
I'll make a
to
motion
to
to
approve
approve the travel
pay.
expense.
Emily.
Emily Mesa Jet, oh, so it's just all going to Emily?
Yeah, 'cause
I
she
got
drove.
you, I got you. For trip, they say travel.
And so,
for $37.45 on June 3rd, 2017.
I'll second that.
Do I abstain?
No.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything in the statute that says you have to abstain.
Okay. So. Monzon?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Pelletier? Yes. Calamack?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Yes.
Here's your money. Thank you.
Gee. Wasn't that
Well, I thought, I'm not,
Did you
might
at
not
least
see
stay
it
here
for another.
tomorrow? We're easy.
Should they submit a library continuing education certificate?
I don't know that they gave them up here. There's actually a form that I filled out in Emily's name when she let me know, allowing for email, letting me know the mileage for that. You know, for us, it seems kind of funny that we do this for this amount of money, but really this law was put in place so that
We submit something like
large expenditures would not
professional
be,
regulation.
you know,
Yeah.
like you wouldn't go out to eat and spend $500 and then go to the strip club and wherever else they spent it, yeah.
The adoption of the prevailing wage ordinance?
So every year we are by law required to adopt this. We have no choice. So basically it's quite, I say we have no choice. Basically, even if we didn't adopt it, we are still by law are required to abide by this. But basically the prevailing wage is that for certain types of expenditures, most often having to do with construction, laborers, mechanics, those kinds of things, that anyone that the library contracts with, we make sure that they abide by prevailing wage. And there's forms that they have to sign and everything, and people can actually ask for that certification from you. Say if we did some kind of, you know, when we did construction work, you know, the contractor and the architect, everyone had to abide by prevailing wage. So we're required to do this every year. And it's, the prevailing wages are determined by the county that you're in.
Do you need signatures to that?
We do not need signatures.
Okay.
Yes, we do need signatures on that. I do have that ordinance here, but we have to pass it first. So,
Right.
so this would be,
But
the
just-
ordinance would be to adopt the resolution and then read the resolution as I have it written.
Okay. I will motion to approve or adopt resolution number 2017-02, establishing the prevailing rate of wages for laborers, mechanics, and other workers in the locality of the village of North Grove. You just have to write the number.
Novak?
Yes.
Pelletier? Yes. Calamack?
Yes.
Gonzalez? Yes. Gray?
Yes.
Ms. Jack, yes. Monzon?
Yes.
So here's two places, you, here, and then Ellie, there's two places where you can sign. One's the certification, because we have to actually send this to the state.
So Emily signs twice tonight.
Right.
All right, the DVD cleaning machine.
So, in your packets, you have Jeff's letter to all of you outlining his reasoning for the purchase of a new DVD cleaner. He is here and I am here to answer any questions you may have after reading over this.
Can we bring our own DVDs in?
You can bring your own. One of the things that we had speculated that we would offer is
Yeah, I mean, that actually
offer
might
it to
be.
patrons to, like, for $1 a disc and
Yeah.
allow them. The big problem, you can see this when we do our walkthrough as well, and Jeff can speak to this more because his office is right there. It takes us a long time to clean DVDs.
Yeah, I had no
because
idea.
The machine
Oh, it
is,
does.
Well,
It's-
maybe
it
it would be
does.
established hours or
Especially when
days
you're a
or.
3-year-old.
Oh, yeah, people want to come in.
yeah, oh, yeah, for that, we wouldn't just say on the spot we'll do it. Yeah, we would
Yeah.
say, bring in your DVDs on,
Yeah,
Monday and by
maybe
Tuesday they'll
some
all be.
schedule or something.
Yeah, we would certainly do that, but we would be certainly open to doing that. That's one of the things that we discussed, so.
Would you advertise if that's an option once you get the system up and running? if
Sure.
you went through it?
Yeah, we could put a note in.
So
in
it wouldn't be
or on-
possible to keep the old machine in some out-of-the-way place? that
Sure,
could be
we could
used for
keep
the
it.
public?
We could keep it, or we could keep the old one for that. We're not, the company, we got the old machine through the same company, but they're not asking it for it as a trade-in. So that's ours, so we can keep that and we could say, this is the one that
I'm just wondering,
designates.
just that way, because it only takes, what was it, 30 seconds or something, I read?
To clean one disc takes 3 to 4 minutes.
But people would be willing to wait 3 to 4 minutes.
Right, if we could designate that the old
I mean,
machine that we
if
have.
there's an unusual spot in the library somewhere that it can be plugged
Yeah,
into, because
that's
that's
not a
when it gets
problem.
plugged in.
Yeah, the one that we have is small, so
I
that's not an
understand.
issue. And we intended on keeping that for a variety of, if we wanted to, make it
Right.
available to the public or something like that. Or we could even try to sell it, on the rails, there's a, you can sell it, that kind of thing. But, yeah, we weren't gonna just get rid of it.
Because it's in good condition.
Yeah, it's okay. It takes a long time and it does one disc at a time and its location is not optimal.
Takes me a
because
long time to get to my elevator, so.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes
actually
it a
out
long
at the
time.
circulation desk, and as Jeff says, what happens is, A, we don't clean everything that comes in, we just wait for it to be either a problem or we notice it, which if, the circ staff has a lot of things to check in, they
And
miss
that's
a lot
frustrating,
of
this
things.
person gets home, they've got all
Right,
relaxed.
and Jeff can speak to how often that happens, like patrons call or come in and say and when they're upset.
Pretty regular. It's, with all the kids' DVDs, we could probably clean every kid's DVD that comes back to the library. We just don't have time to do it. So we do spot checks where if it's fairly noticeable that it needs to be cleaned, we clean it. Or if a patron comes to the desk, a lot of times patrons know about the machine. So before they check out a DVD and before they take it home, they want us to clean it for them so they're guaranteed that it's gonna play when they get it home. So the point of this machine is to trying to get past that to where all discs that are coming back are just getting cleaned, so they're gonna play when they get back, when patrons check it out and take it back home.
Is there anybody who doesn't think that we should buy this, I guess?
Well, that's what everything's going to is DVD,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, and even if things, Jeff and I have been talking about this a lot as we were considering this, and I have been at a library, both my previous libraries had this machine, and I will tell you, it is a godsend when it comes to DVDs. But, even with things going, people say, oh, streaming or whatever, as Jeff said in his proposal, we're still looking at 25 to 30% of our items being checked out that are AV material, either DVDs, audiobooks, or CDs. And this can also clean some video games if that's an issue. So there's a fairly significant portion of our collection that is made up of a format that this could clean.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm in favor.
Even if that drops a little bit, those things are not going away for a long time.
Right.
Even if people say, oh, we're streaming now or whatever, I mean, I don't have a DVD player any longer, but that doesn't matter. I mean, I still know I can, my kid has a gaming system that plays all DVDs, those kinds of things, so.
It just would be nice if we had a foundation set up and this could be a project for them.
Right.
Because it's such a reasonable amount when you think of it there.
In terms of a foundation, yeah.
When you think of it coming out of the budget, well, it's a
There is some, I don't wanna say unallocated funds that we can use, but we do have funds that can be used for this. And as Jeff says too, the vendor will break this up. We can pay 1/2 this year and then work it into the budget for the remainder in 2018.
70,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't see any reason not to.
They knocked off
I'll
5,000
make a
for
mo-
us.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the CO Master disc cleaning.
I second the motion.
Do we have to say?
I want a third one.
You don't have to, in the amount of $17,000.
Did the old machine that you're currently using always take 3 to 4 minutes from the
Yes.
start? It's not like it got slower?
No, it's just that's how that machine worked.
How did you knock off 5,000?
I smused them.
We're very charming, that
Yeah.
way, Jeff.
All right,
Gray,
that's what we
Yes.
need you.
Yeah.
Mason Jack, yes. Montague,
Yes.
Novick,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Hamilton.
Yes.
So, Jeff, tomorrow you can contact them and we'll get this ball rolling.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Great.
That's good.
Kids will too, I told them no DVDs anymore.
Well, and that's just it,
And-
like I said, Jeff can speak to it a lot more.
And I was actually hoping that once parents saw that the conditions of the DVDs were better, that the DVDs would get higher circulating in the YS department, because I noticed an adult it's pretty high. YS it's not as high as adults, but I think it's because when parents get them home, they don't always play.
taking them home.
Because because literally we could clean every kid's DVD that comes back. I mean, it's scratched, there's peanut butter on them. I mean, you find everything on the
What
kitchen.
flavor jelly is?
I didn't try it.
Yeah, one of the
In that
things,
section.
once we get the machine, which will happen very soon, because they are located in, they used to be Lincoln Wind and they moved,
Yeah,
but
they're-
very close, they're local.
Like Arlington Heights and
Yeah,
all that
Arlington
area.
Heights, and so they will deliver the machine to us, and one of the things that Jeff and I talked about doing is would be a good volunteer project, is to clean, starting with the youth services collection, clean all the DVDs, just to go through the entire collection so that we can kind of start fresh. But yeah, we'll, try to let people know that, hey,
They're gonna be
that kind
like,
of
if we've
thing.
done this, leave a sign out there, like.
Yeah,
And
or
if
to
there
let
is a
people
problem,
know
let us
that,
know.
exactly, because that then speaks to a different issue with the DVD.
No, I know what Jeff said, maybe there could be a sign in the circulation desk that all DVDs have been cleaned,
Right,
You can have those for you,
or are cleaned upon return.
even in the newsletter.
yeah. One of the libraries I was previously at, cleaning every DVD was part of the check-in process. And so and they had a system, and so patrons actually started to know to look at it, because there was a sticker kept like inside of it, and there was a date, like the last time that it had been cleaned and that kind of thing. So we're still kind of working out the procedures for how many things are gonna be done, that sort of thing. But right now, our big priority was, getting the machine, and then really addressing those issues, those areas of the collection that we think are the worst, which are the YS DVDs.
August meeting?
Last year, I don't think we had an August meeting, I know Stephanie is usually gone. You'll just need, because it was on the schedule of meetings, you will need to officially vote whether or not you were gonna have that
And
meeting.
if those lawyers are interested in that space, we'd have to
We'd
have
have to have a
something
special meeting,
to.
right, to either accept that or whatever.
Or then you call a special.
Yes, I would-
It'd probably be a
yeah.
special meeting.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
something of that nature, I'd definitely call it.
Even if we were having the August meeting, probably.
Yes, so basically you just need to make a motion to
What was that
either
date?
not have that meeting.
August 10th.
Mhm.
I will motion to cancel, is that the right word, skip?
Cancel.
Cancel the August 10th board meeting.
Cool.
Is there a second?
How about September? Could you cancel?
That one we have to have.
Are you counting the
We have to
days
talk about the
already?
budget.
Hey, I'd be having fun for real.
I'll second it. That was.
We always skip August, you know.
It's a good idea to have it, and that way, and then if you find that you don't need
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
it's-
I mean, something could, well, it could have been 3 months ago and we would have needed it.
Right, exactly. So,
Let's do,
you can, for that,
Yeah,
it would
just
probably
say-
be a roll call, or a
Yeah.
voice vote.
Voice, yeah. All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye. Any opposed?
Any opposed? Staff and service.
I'm asking the board's approval to close for half a day on Friday, October 13th for our staff in service.
You and my approval.
This year, this time we're gonna have the social worker from the Village of Morton Grove come and give a brief presentation to the staff about what she does, and then have an extended question and answer period. We'll go over some emergency procedures and then staff recognition, and then we provide lunch, and then we're open by 1. So I just need the,
Is this usually around the same time?
yeah,
every
we
year?
usually try to have it in
So it's
September,
consistent?
but, yeah, but Rebecca wasn't, she was gonna be out of the country, so I had to bump it
Okay,
based on,
okay.
other people's schedules and stuff.
I'll make a motion to approve the closing for half day in service.
I don't think we need a motion for
No, we
it.
don't need that.
We don't need a motion. It's just general approval.
You still need, before you vote on anything, you have to,
We don't have to vote on it, do we?
yeah, you could say no, you don't wanna close.
Oh, you need to say no.
She's asking us.
Yeah, but the board has to approve our
I
closure.
didn't realize that.
Yeah, the board has to
I didn't
approve all the
realize.
closures,
My mistake.
I'll second you.
but that can be a voice vote, so I don't think.
All in favor for the closing of the half-day in service?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Committee appointments.
So usually, so there's 4 committees, basically. The executive committee, which is made up of the executive officers, the president, the secretary, and the treasurer. So that's just, based on your position. The other committees are finance committee, policy committee, and facilities committee. So right now, because of the people that went off the board, the only committees that have members besides the executive committee are Carlotta has been the finance committee, and policy committee has been Stephanie, Carlotta, and Barb. So we do not currently have a facilities committee.
I'd be happy to do facilities, and I was gonna suggest, I didn't know if some of the new people, I thought it was interesting to both read the policies, but I mean, Carlotta now and Barbara, I
Yeah, we're
think
kind
have.
of repeating the policy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't know, if
Yeah.
maybe fresh eyes.
Yeah.
How many do you usually have on each?
The policy committee has been what it is for
For a while.
3 years
2 to
now.
3,
2
and
to 3 years,
it's,
yeah.
we try to spread it out so
There's
that,
something in
you
the
know.
bylaws about that, I don't remember exactly
I
what
don't have mine.
I think it's just informative, but also then, you get new eyes looking at.
it's under the committee's heading.
So we can
Each
do one of
committee
2
is
things, and if it's okay with the president. You could spend some time thinking about it and either let me know, and then we can officially assign them, later on, like at the September meeting or, whatever. If you want to do that, is policy 2?
2.
No,
Barb was
president, and the
coming
president
as
is the
president,
next
and then you
year.
just, where you started coming at in your role as president, right?
Oh, yeah,
You
right.
Just kept coming.
Facilities is also 2.
Yeah, I wasn't on the policy committee, I was just coming as
So
president.
the president, as president, can go to any of them, actually,
Anybody.
any board member can
Anybody.
go to any committee meeting.
Right.
That's not a
I'm
problem.
Facility, right?
I'm just a strange person that likes
I'll go with
meetings.
You like policies.
I like policies.
So,
I have written more than one set of bylaws.
so Carlotta Stick is on the finance committee because she's the treasurer, so that's, so it's up to you if you want to try to hash this out right now, or if you want to,
When is the next policy
the
one?
next, I was gonna get to that there's no set meetings for either facility or finance coming up. There is a policy committee meeting that, is scheduled for August 29th, I believe.
I believe you're right.
And, at that one,
Yeah.
Carlotta and Stephanie and Barb were tentatively going to be attending. If there are other members that want to be on the policy committee, then that's fine. I don't,
So again, so you have your 3 for facilities?
no,
There's nobody in
there's
facilities.
nobody, Stephanie said she'll be on facilities.
And there's nobody on finance, basically, and the people on when we're just talking about policies.
I'd be interested in
It's been the same
facilities, but I
people
could
for-
also be flexible if someone, if Eric wanted facilities over policy, or
Is there somebody who wants to join Carlotta on finance?
I want to go on building. So I could put my plans together and build it
How about this?
Yeah, yes, please,
Why don't, if it's okay with you,
I'll
if
rush
you want
into-
to email me which committees you'd be interested in serving on, and just
Okay.
list them, and then I can put together a couple of different suggestions for the president, and then we can finalize that in September. And as long as the current policy committee would be willing to keep that August 29th meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that way, no one has to decide tonight, you can think about it and let me know kind of in order of your preference of committees, and then we can work out the logistics of that.
Is that meeting at 7 also as well?
No, it's during the day.
We have traditionally set that at a different time of the day just because of the people that were on that committee. We
Okay.
can set that whatever time is best for everyone else. The one that, the meeting that's on August 29th is 9:30 in the morning, and that is a Tuesday, so. And you're welcome to come if you want to listen to it.
Well, usually
Go over the
lasts about
policies and stuff.
7.5 minutes.
It does.
Oh, really?
This one may last longer because we are gonna be making some pretty extensive
Oh,
changes
you're up
to
to
one of our
15 minutes.
policies. If anyone does want to attend that policy committee meeting, let me know so I can make sure that you get the documentation, so that you don't come in.
It'll be done by 11 now, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And we technically don't change the policies, the staff
And join the travel
makes the
committee.
adjustments to the policies. They read them and say,